God loves you. I was walking past one of the mega churches in the downtown area of our city the other day, and a man coming out of the building yelled that, "God loves you!" And I hear this saying a lot from people who are the biggest critics of my content. Let me provide an interpretation what is meant by God loves you. You don't look like me, therefore you must be miserable. And so I'm going to yell our marketing slogan to see if I can get you into our religious sect, because Christians believe that life is truly all about joining the right church, so you will get to heaven. But the story of Jesus isn't about that at all. The actual Christian New Testament says that Jesus came to sozo the world, to bring wholeness to it, not to condemn it. And then Jesus himself stated, I came to bring life to the full. Just trying to avoid having to walk into the lake of fire when your loving Father in heaven sends you there can't be the goal of this lifetime. Otherwise, wouldn't it make sense to just slay people when they get saved so they don't have a chance to backslide? Or babies who die before the non-biblical age of accountability would be the luckiest humans in the world, because they never have a chance to be tempted by the proclivities put in them by this loving God. If you're going to tell me God loves me, and don't mean it as just a patronizing platitude, there's something you got to explain. Why would that God allow my pastor parents do terrible things to me while he was sharing with them what the sermon should be that week? Or when he was sharing that we should move again and rip me again out of a place where I have built friendships and relationships and tried to put down roots. And before you say, free will, that was humans, not God, you have to explain why an omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, all-everything God who demands glory and praise when we find just the right bargain on Black Friday doesn't have to be held responsible for the bad things of the world. That God would clearly have to decide it's in Paul's best interest for my glory for him to be treated horribly in his childhood. And before you go to the ever popular, oh, well, you're just hurt, remember, Jesus was hurt too. That doesn't invalidate his words, does it? Or does it? The truth is, the story of Jesus is about restoring sozo or shalom to a person's life, to connect to the divine spirit of goodness that's in the universe without a set of rules. Sin and rules are now defined in relationship. Jesus said, you love the rule of don't commit adultery because you can flirt around with that and make that rule malleable for yourself while condemning someone else. But I say, don't even look at a woman lustfully, because now you're violating relationship with another human being by taking ownership of that person. Religious people love rules because it helps them to feel self-righteous and superior. But they know that's not a good marketing slogan, so instead they say, God loves you. And I can only say, I've been like you under the bondage of a bad theology and bad religion that Jesus came to set people free from so they could have a fullness of spiritual life and well-being and shalom, not be controlled by some shepherd behind the pulpit or some horrible, evil, incompetent politician, but instead be governed by our love for one another, even our enemies. And let me tell you, Christians, that should be your marketing slogan, because that's true love from heaven. And Jesus prayed, let it be on earth as it is in heaven. So our goal is not a one-way ticket to heaven. It's to have shalom, fullness of well-being, so we can love one another.